is available at powermy401k.com. And by GEP. With GEP Key Agentic AI and GEP Smart Software, GEP is at the forefront in agentic procurement orchestration and autonomous supply chains.
If you live in the Northeast and Midwest, you do not need me to tell you it has been a brutal winter there. And you might be longing for warmer weather to come as soon as possible. But farmers who make maple syrup are not. This merciless winter has been nothing but good news for them and for future pancake breakfast needs. Marketplace's Kaylee Wells drove to a maple farm about an hour east of Cleveland to find out why.
Every winter, John Cermak and his family drill holes into 2,200 maple trees on their 45-acre farm. They hammer steel spouts into those holes, and then they wait.
So the ideal weather for us is when it freezes at night and then thaws during the day.
This last winter was Greater Cleveland's coldest in more than a decade. Perfect for making maple syrup. Then the temperatures warmed a little, and a slow drip of sap falls into a bucket or a tube. This is how maple syrup starts. This tree will produce dozens of gallons of sap this season, which is good because it takes 40 gallons to make 1 gallon of syrup. Today, the Cermaks are boiling down giant tubs of sap.
I think we probably have about 7,000 or 8,000 gallons.
They all have day jobs, so they're just getting started as dusk arrives.
Maple syrup is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not even a get-rich-slow scheme.
They'll be camped in the sugar house till roughly 1 in the morning, throwing logs they harvested last fall into a furnace every 5 minutes, reducing that sap into a golden syrup. For the Cermaks, this mid-February start is pretty normal. Adam Wild is director of Cornell University's Maple Research Forest. He says tapping season is changing.
The season is starting 1 to 2 weeks sooner in areas, and overall, I think the long-term trend shows that a season is shortened by like 3 days at this point.
Which is not great because, Wild says, demand for maple syrup has quadrupled in the last 2 decades as people look for natural foods with fewer ingredients. Plus,
whoa, there's so much more in that flavor than I ever have experienced.
Taste-wise, Hungry Jack pales in comparison. So far, adapting to the shorter season has meant improved storage systems, tubes, vacuum pumps, and leak sensors. The Cermaks already have all that. Eli Suzakovich III teaches environmental policy at Northwestern and does a course on maple trees.
It's not that the maple trees are stopping what they're doing. It's just they're changing the times when they do it.
He says the bigger problem is that the industry isn't changing along with the climate because of the we tap when we tap because that's when we've always tapped mentality.
It's the small producers that really you need to watch what they're doing. They're going to be crucial and probably lead the way in how syrup is produced.
Small producers like Jim Cermak, the patriarch at Sugarbush Creek Farm.
You just always have to be ready. So it doesn't really matter what the calendar date is, who cares? You tap when the weather's, when it gets warm and cold.
This year, the Cermak's first boil was mid-February. 2 years ago, an especially mild year, it was January 10th. In Middlefield, Ohio, I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
And in New York, I'm Sabri Benishore with the Marketplace Morning Report.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Russ Murley, and this is your WTJX local forecast. This is Thursday, the 5th of March. Sunshine, partly sunny at times, spotty showers, middle to upper 80s this afternoon. Easterly winds at 10 to 20. Isolated showers, middle to upper 70s tonight. Lots of sun tomorrow, partly sunny at times, late day showers, middle to upper 80s. A few showers, upper 70s tomorrow night. Partly sunny and windy, spotty showers Saturday, middle to upper 80s. Rip current risk will be mostly moderate at area beaches today. Millions of Americans turn to PBS for reliable reporting that's made the PBS NewsHour one of the most trusted news programs. You'll find it weeknights at 7 p.m. on WTJX-TV, Channel 12.
WTJX 93.1 Charlotte Amalia, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands. The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
And good Thursday morning, and welcome to another edition of Analyze This here on your NPR station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, WTJX-FM 93.1 with yours truly, Neville James. Another beautiful day in paradise, and we got a great show lined up today. We got actually 3 different guests. We got Miss Ashley Bouzianis from the Croix Animal Welfare Center. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking with the Department of Tourism. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to be talking Arch Thursday, the Dr. Simone L. Thursday concert series. Oren Levine going to be making another appearance here on Analyze This. So let's get right to it. Good morning, Ms. Bouzianis. How are you?
Good morning, Senator James. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Neville.
Just Neville?
Just Neville.
Okay.
I'm good. Glad to have you here. How's the Welfare Center doing? Animal Welfare Center.
We are okay. We are afloat and doing the best we can with the massive overpopulation problem that we face on our island.
Okay. So I'm going to yield to you.
Oh,
Go right ahead.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a lot going on at the Animal Welfare Center, and I wanted to take the opportunity to make sure the community is aware of some of the upcoming events we have.
Mm-hmm.
So March 11th through the 14th, we have the Visiting Vets International group coming on island to help us with a mass free spay neuter event. That's going to be at our Castle Coakley property.
Mm-hmm.
You can reserve a spot by either going to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/St. Croix Animal Welfare Center. And there is a Google form where you can reserve a spot for your animal. You can also call us at 778-1650 to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a completely free service to the community for owned animals. We are also spaying and neutering feral cats. So a great opportunity to make an impact there and at no cost to owners. We're also, for the owned pets, we are offering microchipping as a free service during that very quickly approaching event. As usual, we will be marching in the St. Patrick's Day parade and collecting funds for the Animal Welfare Center. So look for us. We'll have a new leprechaun this year. And as usual, the Lucky Charms will be out with buckets going around in town to collect donations for the shelter.
Parade is what day? The 14th?
14th,
Okay.
yeah, Saturday the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sneaking up on us as well.
Yeah, March 14th, yeah.
Mm-hmm. March 21st is our annual fundraising gala. We call it the Fur Ball. It's at Carambola Golf Club this year. And the theme is All That Glitters is Green, so another kind of tie into St. Patrick's Day. We're approaching sellout with that, so if you want to grab your tickets, please do so. Those are the ticketing links available at stcroixawc.org. You'll find it under our events page. That very next week, March 25th, we have the launch of our Coconut Retriever Vodka at the Scion Farm Distillery. So that's something we've been working on with Mutiny.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to have Sam Choi, the celebrity chef from Hawaii, flown in. They're doing a fantastic menu, and they've just been a great partner on the Coconut Retriever Vodka, their new infusion. So you can get those tickets on their Facebook page, facebook.com/Scion Farm Distillery. And then last, just to mark your calendars, especially for golfers, we are bringing back what used to be an annual event for the shelter, the Tim Johnston Golf Classic. It's the Tee Off for Tails golf tournament. It's going to be May 31st at the Buccaneer.
So you got a lot of activities.
We do.
Between now
So
and the
it's
end of May.
busy, yeah, now for this season. So.
Okay, good. So you mentioned the overpopulation problem. You want to give some details on that?
Sure. I mean, on an average year, we take in roughly 2,500 animals at the shelter. I mean, it's an everyday occurrence that we go to unlock the doors and there's a box of puppies outside. So it's really a problem, and I think people are starting to really notice the prevalence of the animals they see in the streets, hit by vehicles. It's just becoming more and more prominent. So even if you're not an animal lover, it's also starting to negatively impact our tourism products. Mm-hmm. No one wants to be on vacation and be surrounded by, emaciated dogs. They don't want to, live in fear walking around where, there's strays if they're going to be harmed. That's, we don't find that often the case that strays are going after people, but we want our population to be safe, and we want our visitors to feel comfortable.
What about iguanas? They're all over the place, and they're not domesticated.
They are not. I find it really interesting that
That's
some of our
that's kind of a conundrum there, because you don't want to be mean to any animals,
right?
But they have this way about them,
Yeah. Thankfully, we don't deal with iguanas
I know,
at the shelter,
but they're all they can appear at a location at any time.
Yes, I've seen at a couple of different restaurants on island where tourists have been feeding them, and they're getting very aggressive. I mean, they'll climb tables. They
Wow.
are, undeterred by people if there are French fries to be had. So I understand, they between their claws and whipping their tails. I understand the concern.
And some of them are the most beautiful animals there are.
They're gorgeous. They look like dinosaurs.
Yeah,
They're
small,
still with us.
mini dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? If there's such a thing.
Yeah.
The government support. Do you get any? What kind of support do you get? And I mean, the government can't do everything, but you did mention the tourism product, so you're sensitive to the goose that lays the majority of our golden eggs here in the territory. So there should be some reciprocity.
Agreed. The government support that we do receive, we receive a small stipend from the Department of Agriculture every year for fulfilling the animal control function on island. Unfortunately, historically, that covers about 8% of our operating budget. So it falls on us to either fundraise or find grants for the other 92%. So it's a tremendous weight on us, and we try our best. But it is a lot. And as you know, there are so many fantastic 501c3 organizations on our island, and all very worthy causes, for, whether it's the environment or sea turtles or, a place like Queen Louise Home. But all of us are in need of this same, small pool of dollars. So
do you work with the other animal shelters? Do you have a good relationship with them? I mean, I know everybody has their own responsibilities, their own things that they're focusing on, but it would be good to know that this particular, I won't say industry, but this particular work and service that you're providing for the territory, that all of you are on the same page because you're all wanting to accomplish the same goals.
It's tricky. I will clarify that we are the only open admission shelter on island. Okay. So we are, it in that regard, meaning anyone can show up at our door and surrender an animal for whatever reason, or bring in a stray. And unless we are in a capacity situation where we've had to limit our intake or shut down intake for whatever reason, there is that open door element to our organization that is different from others. There are some fantastic nonprofits that are also working in animal welfare on island, including Rough Start, Real Crucian Cats, Island Dog Rescue, just to name a few. The problem is huge, and so I think the more hands, the better. Some of those organizations have different approaches in terms of the initial intake of animals, so to speak. Some of them are feeding in place. Others are taking a different approach to being able to trap animals. it's again, it's just a huge problem, and I think the more hands helping we have, the better. We do try to make sure we work with those organizations as much as possible. We work a lot with Real Christian Cats. We do a lot of spay neuter with them, and just try to have the most positive relationships with those organizations that we can. Since I started with the Animal Welfare Center, I have started to do a lot more with the St. Thomas Humane Society, and to kind of have an exchange of best practices there, and then also look at for sometimes with either federal funding or something like a national grant where we can combine our numbers because we're stronger to apply as a territory instead of individual islands.
How do you get young people involved? To get them to. I mean, they already love animals.
Mm-hmm.
They love dogs, right? So,
yeah.
But there's more than just loving them. You got to care for them and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I brought you something because I know you're a numbers guy.
Oh, you know that.
I remember. So this is part of a coloring book that I take into schools and summer camps and after-school programs, and it really tries to instill for kids some really important messages about animal care and how pets are a part of the family. And the particular page I just handed you, Neville, is talking about really the reality of spay and neuter and how, especially in an isolated community like ours, how it's really not optional. So what I quiz the kids, every time, okay, lots of people think, oh, I just have one dog. It doesn't make a difference if I choose to spay or neuter, my one dog. So I asked the children, okay, if you have, one mama dog, one papa dog that are able to have babies, and they have babies, and their babies have babies, and so on and so forth, large litters as pretty much as quickly as they typically produce. How many dogs do you have in 6 years from that initial pair? And the kids, 12, 40.
Wow.
It's 67,000.
Wow.
67,000 dogs from that one unaltered pair.
Wow.
So, and I believe last census we were at 40,000 people on St. Croix.
Just over 40,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means even if every single resident were willing to take one of those puppies,
we still wouldn't have enough.
We wouldn't have enough homes.
Wow.
And that's our reality. So I think we have to be very cautious and very protective of the environment that we have here in terms of having well-fed, cared for, healthy animals, that people with owned animals can keep them safe, and that we are presenting a tourism product that is ideally free from stray animals and emaciated animals.
Wow, 67,000.
Right, it's a lot.
That's an understatement.
Right.
Wow. Talk about the annual the gala event that's coming up at Carambola.
Yeah, so we're really excited. I believe it's been since 2011 since the fur ball was at Carambola Golf Club, so quite some time. There was new ownership there in the last year, and they have done some great work renovating that space. So it looks great if you haven't been out there in quite some time. And we're gonna have so much fun. We're setting up a putt game. CC1 has been so kind to sponsor the event with Tito's as the headlining product for the night, and so Tito's vodka. And so over on the putting green, we'll have bottles set up at various, angles and distances. And if you can, take your putter and tap a ball into one of the bottles, you get to keep it.
Oh, okay.
So just things like that. We'll have a wine wall of, mystery bags where, you might get your ticket price worth of wine. You might get something that's 5 times your ticket price of wine. So just some fun things throughout the evening. DJ Chubby is graciously donating his time again this year, so he'll keep the vibe going on the dance floor. We'll have a live auction. We'll have an art auction. So just a number of fun things to do. And we're slated to have at least 200 people, so it'll be a fun, big crowd, and should be a lovely time. The golf club is doing the catering for us and has developed a delicious menu. So
that's awesome, and thanks to everybody who is playing a part in this meaningful and worthwhile event. I know you moved it around different locations throughout the years, right?
Yeah, we try to hit different locations, just particularly to make sure we're meeting the community in different areas. Last year we were out at Divvy Carina Bay, so all the way east. We're kind of mid-island this year. I'd like to do something all the way west in a future year, maybe next year, just to make sure we're not missing anyone. Anyone that would like to come support and come out for the shelter.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're talking with Ashley Bouzianis. She's the Director of Marketing and Development at the Croix Animal Welfare Center. How's staffing at your property right now?
It's good. We have a very loyal team, and we have right now both our medical director, Dr. Ashley Whiteside, as our resident vet, and then we have a relief vet, Dr. Keith, is with us as well. So with the overlap of those two, we're able to take more patients in our clinic, and then of course they're looking after our shelter animals as well.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the visiting vets. And that's a regular thing, right?
Yeah, so annually we have the Visiting Vets International group come on island, and it's veterinarians and veterinary technicians that come, and they donate their time for the week, and they help us get through many more spay neuters than we're capable of on a normal week. I believe it's 13 people coming on island this year. Divvy Carina Bay has been so kind as to offer accommodations for them.
Okay.
So we really appreciate that at Divvy. And then they do do this clinic 4 days ending on a Saturday. So if someone has, business hour constraints, we can meet them on a Saturday as well. But the Sunday following, they get to have some fun before they leave island. So Big Beard's Adventure Tours has very kindly offered to take them on their morning half day. Mm-hmm. And then they'll get to go over to Sion Farm Distillery and do a tasting and tour of Mutiny's facility, and have brunch there. And so thank you to those tour operators and restaurant for accommodating, and especially in spring break time, offering that to the Visiting Vets International group.
And they go all over the world.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
I think 1 year they were actually half the way around the world before they came here, or they were actually going to somewhere half the way around the world after they left here.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. Croix Animal Welfare Center located.
We are at 5 Corners for our clinic and shelter, and then we still have our adoption center, the Pet Place, in the old cast iron pot building in Princess, and that shares a building with our flea market.
Good. Take a break, come back, talk some more with Ashley Bouzianis, the Director of Marketing and Development at the Croix Animal Welfare Center. We'll be back right after this.
Cost You Less, your local warehouse retailer offering a wide variety of grocery items, bulk size everyday essentials, and household necessities that you can depend on to run your home or business. Located at 4300 Sign Farm, Christiansted, 340-719-4442, or costyouless.com. Cost You Less is proud to support public media in the Virgin Islands.
I'm Indira Lakshmanan. Cows may not be known for their smarts, but researchers in Vienna discovered a cow named Veronica using brooms and sticks to gently scratch herself, a use of tools only seen before in humans and certain primates.
She was not just using it in one single way, she was using objects that had two different sides as a multi-purpose tool.
Next time on Here and Now.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1.
I'm Aisha Roscoe, host of Weekend Edition Sunday, where we're not just interested in what's going on in the world, but why it's happening and how. Details are important, so are different points of view. We're dedicated to bringing you the stories behind the big events and the small ones too. Join us every Sunday morning for Weekend Edition from NPR News.
Weekend Edition, Sundays at 9 a.m. on WTJX FM 93.1, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
We've read The Hours, the book. We've seen The Hours, the movie. Now experience The Hours, the opera. In its acclaimed world premiere production from the Met, the phenomenal Renee Fleming, Joyce DiDonato, and Kelly O'Hara play women from different time periods facing their lives. Look for the Kevin Puts and Greg Pierce opera, The Hours, on great performances at the Met.
Tune in March 8th at 8 p.m. on WTJX TV Channel 12.
All right, back here, analyze this. Got Miss Ashley Bouzianis from the Croix Animal Welfare Center. Here, a lot of things going on with the center, with the Welfare Center between now and May 31st. So, talk about the day-to-day and week-to-week operation at the Animal Welfare Center.
You know, it's funny. I never know what I'm going to walk into every morning. Some days, you know, some days are slower than others in terms of, you know, the clinic traffic and people bringing in dogs to surrender or what have you. Some days it's absolutely crazy and it's, you know, all hands on deck, and others are more manageable. But really it's just, you know, we have a fantastic team. We have a really fantastic team of people that are, you know, you think about like dogs in our custody especially. They have to be walked, you know, several times a day, every day. It doesn't matter if it's Sunday, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas. And we have a very dedicated team of people that are in doing that, you know, hard work, cleaning up after puppies that aren't potty trained. Mm-hmm. and they just like clearly have such a passion for animals that they're willing to, you know, to do the dirty work, so to speak, you know, make the sacrifices if that's, you know, missing, you know, Thanksgiving with their family or what have you. So I just can't say enough about how wonderful they are and how that's like really the lifeblood of the shelter is that group of people, you know, our kennel technicians, and that's both, you know, locations, the pet place and at Five Corners. We, you know, it just historically have always, you know, there's never enough money to go around, unfortunately. So we're always fundraising. We're always looking for more, you know, grant opportunities for, you know, any kind of federal funding that we can find for the shelter. It's a struggle every day, but we fight the good fight, and we do everything that we can. The organization's been around since 1973. And we've managed to stay afloat for this long, and we'll continue to do so. So,
aside from money, what's the biggest challenges?
I think just this public perception that it's, you know, it's cruel to spay or neuter an animal. You know, pets are property. You know, and that they can be just chained outside and left to be, you know, a free alarm system. I think if we can start to really change those mentalities, that would really turn the tide on this much greater problem. I think there's also the public perception that puppies are easily adoptable, right? No problem. You bring me a box of puppies, they can make sure they're all healthy and find homes for all of them without issue. And that's just not the case. As we talked about, with our population and the potential unaltered animals have to produce more and more and more puppies, we don't have the space. We have 13 adult dog runs, and that's it. So as soon as those puppies turn into adults, and some of these litters are 10, 11 puppies that people are bringing in, we just don't have the room.
Yeah.
And we do as much as we can with our Paws in Paradise program to get animals off island. We try to send at least one flight a month, but those cargo flights cost between $4,000 and $5,000 each.
Per flight.
Per flight. And sometimes we can fit, 7 larger, dogs, like crates of dogs. Sometimes we can fit, crates of puppies in sibling pairs, so we can send more like, 15, 16.
Are they in demand?
Dogs. In the States?
Yeah.
Different areas, it's a different answer. We continue to find, I would say, the best luck with like the Northeast, just because they have really strict spay-neuter laws. And so, yeah, some of their shelters are empty, and there is demand, especially for puppies. So we send as many as we can to that area. And then our biggest partner in Paws in Paradise right now is Pet Alliance of Orlando. They took more than 100 animals for us last year. And we have another flight queued up to go with them later this month. So we're in the process of going back and forth with them to select which animals get to go on that flight. But if we can just, and still for the public over and over again, please don't assume that we can find places for every puppy. It's not the reality. Most people who are willing to adopt and provide a safe home on island, and that are able to readily able to feed an animal and pay for proper veterinary care, already have animals 3 and 4 times over. So please don't assume that we can find a space for puppies.
What's the most popular breed of dog in the Virgin Islands?
We lovingly call almost everything at the shelter our Crucian mutts or our coconut retrievers. We see a lot of influence of chow on island. Of course, Pit is in the mix, but we've really kind of like made up certain breeds. So we've got the Crucian short leg, the Queen Louise Terrier, that sort of thing, where we just see different influence of different dogs. Chow. So you never know what we'll get. Most of the time, we know nothing about mom or dad when we get litter puppies surrendered. So
let's go over the events. The events in the near future.
Sure.
Again, one more time.
Sure. So we've got Visiting Vets International doing the free spay neuter event March 11th through the 14th. We will be out on the parade route collecting money the 14th, Saturday in Christian's Day. Yep. March 21st is our Fur Ball Gala. March 25th is the launch of Coconut Retriever at Mutiny. And then May 31st is the golf tournament at the Buccaneer.
Nothing in April?
I'm sure I will find something for us in
Decompress, because
April.
you got heavy March.
Yes. Well, we will see, but it's busy for sure. So, but we're very grateful to our partners. Especially Mutiny stepped up really big. I don't know if you happen to see, Neville, we did a coconut retriever bottle model contest.
No, Mutiny's in my backyard. I live in Science Farm.
Oh, okay. So you know.
I see cars there all the time, and I like.
Yeah.
Mutiny is really, really establishing well, they've already established it, but it's just reinforcing a footprint in the community. Supporting a lot of different entities. So I want to give them a shout out.
Yeah. So what they allowed us to do is, they're doing this coconut retriever vodka, this new infusion just for us, that we're going to get proceeds from every bottle, which is very, very kind of them. So they let us run a contest online for the bottle model, which dog got their picture on the bottle. And what was great is this really tapped into a lot of people that have adopted our Crucian mutts, our coconut retrievers that have them in the States, either through Paws in Paradise or, tourists sometimes fall in love and fly back with a dog. And so we had 111 entries at $5 an entry.
Okay.
And I'll quiz you since you're the numbers guy.
I'm already at 555 because you said 111 times 5.
But the votes were $1 each. Do you want to guess how much we raised?
Tell the audience.
$49,200.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So people were very
supportive,
and very adamant about their dog being the official coconut retriever model for this year. So
that's nice.
yeah. So thanks to Mutiny for making it possible.
And the conversation on a very high note.
Yeah.
Ms. Bouzianis, nice talking to you.
You as well.
Thank you very much for all you do as it relates to animal welfare here in the Virgin Islands, here on St. Croix. And success with all the events.
Thank
you. So that you could raise the revenue and the dollars that you need to keep the welfare center in effect open and provide that service, because we do have the overpopulation problem that you reference, and to address that it requires capital.
Absolutely.
Nice talking. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. You too, Neville.
That's Miss Ashley Bouzianis. She's the Director of Marketing and Development at the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, located at Five Corners. And what was the old? What do you provide at the old Cast Iron Pot?
That's the Pet Place Adoption Center and our flea market.
Our flea market. Okay, good. You got it. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So we're going to transition now. I think we got the Department of Tourism. They're going to be coming in to talk about what's going on with the tourism department. Of course, they got new leadership under Miss Jennifer Matarangas-King. Commissioner, Jennifer Knight Matarangas-King. And so we definitely want in this last furlong of the Brian Roach administration to at least give them support. Take care now, Ashley. Good to see you. All right? Whenever the opportunities present itself. She know that yet. You see her yet? Check out stuff for me. Yeah, Glenn, go and check. Yeah, man. So, and then looking forward to the concert series with Oren, Levine, and Lisa Mordhorst, along with artist Aaron Myers. So, you know how it is. It's a combination for a race Thursday here on Analyze This, and Arts Thursday. This is Zoe Zimet, creation from back in the morning. How are you? Good morning. And then, no, you put on that headphone. No, look, get on. Yeah, that's the previous. Guess what we're in now? The other headphone there. Forward if you want. You can listen to the conversation. Good morning. Thank you very much, Glenn. So we have here in the studio, spoiler rotten to the core, Glenn. You know what I mean? It's spoiler rotten to the core, Glenn. Even the blind headphones, they go get a royal. They go get a royal. Good morning, Miss RoseAnne. How are you, man? RoseAnne. Even though the name is Rosie. You know what I'm saying? Rosie. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. Always good to be here, Neville.
Introduce yourself to the audience.
Good morning to everyone. Special good morning to you, Neville. Rosie Farrington, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Tourism.
And you got security with you?
Backup, I call it.
Good morning, Miss Edney. How are you?
Good morning, Neville.
Okay, good. So what going on in tourism?
Oh, all is well. 'Tis the season, so it's going really well. We're really proud of the we can see the marketing efforts that were implemented. I mean, I tell people where tourism is concerned, it's like years of courting, and then you get to the point where you say yes and you see the marriage. So years of building relationships, our sports partnerships, our marketing and key strategic areas, we can finally see that they're paying off right here on St. Croix. We see exponential growth where the tourism numbers, cruise numbers are concerned, and overnight visitors. I constantly hear people saying, I'm leaving St. Croix and I can't believe it. The departure lounge is full, almost as full as St. Thomas. So that's good stuff. Great stuff happening.
They got a direct flight from St. Croix to Chicago?
Correct.
That's a once-a-week deal in American?
Exactly. And it's doing really well.
Yeah.
Actually, I just flew back from from New York yesterday. We had an activation. We have a partnership with iHeartRadio, and I had the opportunity to represent the Virgin Islands for International Women's Day. So every time I'm traveling, I look for people within my gate that we're departing from, and I chat with them, and people are super excited about that Chicago St. Croix flight. So it's going well.
There's still a direct flight from St. Croix to St. Thomas to JFK?
Correct. Yes. That's a daily flight. That's seasonal. And that's doing really well. On St. Thomas, we have that daily flight to JFK. We have 2 to Miami. So, and then we have Fort Lauderdale, Orlando. We just have Southwest that had their inaugural flights from Boston and Baltimore, and Orlando. So it's doing really well. And we continue. We have a team right now that's at routes in Brazil. So that's the main reason that we participate in world and national routes where we have a team that actually would go and meet with the airlines to pitch the need for additional flights. And right now we're really working feverishly to increase lift to St. Croix, since there's so much more interest and so much more travelers that are coming to St. Croix.
What is it about Southwest that what is it? What do they do? I've never flown on Southwest before. What is it about Southwest that
that's attractive?
They are making so much inroads into the market.
A lot of, like, right now we have a lot of travelers who are looking for economical trips, giveaways. I mean, the fact that globally we're feeling the impact of economic changes, if we call it inflation. So persons are looking for a bargain for the buck. Southwest, just like Spirit and Frontier, are those airlines where you can have economical travel and get to your destination, and you could perhaps spend more money on the curated experience or on accommodations, because we know it's no secret we're a beautiful destination, but we're not exactly the cheapest or an inexpensive destination. So that gives persons the opportunity to come see and explore us at a bargain.
But Southwest got to be doing something. It's just the cost of the ticket.
It's the cost. It's the marketing. We have a lot more millennials that are traveling. So based on the cost, the marketing, and the reach, Southwest, in addition to the other airlines, like I mentioned, like Spirit, Frontier, you find that they are definitely trending with that millennial, persons. They don't mind if they have to just pop a backpack on and come and enjoy the destination. So it's sexier.
What about United?
United, we continue to have a really good relationship with United. Actually, while in JFK, I met an amazing young woman who is based in New York. I have a meeting coming up with her. Her focus is on the concierge aspect of United. So we have a solid, long-standing relationship with United, especially out of St. Thomas. And those are the relationships, you try to explain ever so often, and quite often, in my inbox on LinkedIn or on any other platform, I get a message. Please, as you're marketing, as you're traveling, we need more flights. We need more airlift. And it's a dynamic that I try to explain to folks. It's like the chicken and egg. Airlift, meaning the flights, hotel rooms.
Correct.
And when we go to meet with the airlines, the first thing they ask.
Let me stop you right there. So we're going to pick up the conversation later. We're going to take a break right now. All right?
Awesome. Okay.
Now we're going to talk about the first thing you do when you meet with the airlines. All right?
Got it.
Right after this, we've got Miss RoseAnne Farrington, Deputy Commissioner from the Department of Tourism, and she's got her bodyguard, Miss Jo-Ann Berry-Edney, joining her as well. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Islands with deep community knowledge and a history of stepping in, especially during times of crisis. Bank of St. Croix is committed to supporting their mission with a community investment checking account, helping nonprofits earn interest with no monthly service fee and no minimum balance. For information, visit bankofstcroix.com. Bank of St. Croix is proud to support public media in the Virgin Islands.
The epic story of the remaking of the Middle East.
We will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons.
They only understand the language of threat and force.
Trump is telling Iranians, when you negotiate with me, unconditional surrender.
The U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes.
The balance of power has changed dramatically.
Tune in March 10th at 10 p.m. on WTJX TV Channel 12.
As the Pentagon separates transgender troops from the military, one former top general wonders if the focus on gender identity distracts from mission readiness.
We're in a major war and we need to start calling everybody up. I would hope that we would not suddenly say we are only going to draft people of a certain type because we wouldn't have enough.
I'm Elsa Chang. That story on All Things Considered from NPR News.
All Things Considered, weekdays from 5:30 to 8 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1.
Sometimes you need a moment to just step back, relax, and listen to your favorite song. I'm Raina Duras, and on the next World Cafe, maybe I can help you find something new to love, or maybe remind you of something you've been missing. There's so much music out there to enjoy, so take a moment, take a breath, and tune in to World Cafe.
Weekdays at 10 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1.
And we're back here. Analyze this. If I only know the kind of abuse that I'm subjected to during the breaks by the guest and her bodyguard, but it's okay. Oh, we're good. We got Miss Rosie Farrington from Public Tourism and Miss Jo-Ann Berry-Edney from Government House here in the city. Good morning, ladies. Glad to have both of you here.
Good morning again. Morning.
So you were saying the experience, and you're talking with people and continuously trying to sell what we have to offer, but there's more.
Like I was saying, Neville, it's difficult sometimes because people think we meet with the airlines and we tell them we want a flight to either St. Thomas and St. Croix. It happens, but there's a dynamic that is important. It's like I mentioned before, the chicken and egg. Mm-hmm. What comes first, the airlift or the hotel keys? So when we go and we meet with the airlines, that's the first thing. What's up? What's new? Do you have any additional hotel rooms, whether it's traditional hotel rooms or through the shared economy? And that's one of the reasons why it's so important. I mean, for the first time in over 30 years, we had a brand new hotel development in the USVI on St. Thomas, as Hampton by Hilton. Mm-hmm. But it's really important for us to develop, whether it's to improve the infrastructure of what we already have that's existing, or we work on additional opportunities. There are plenty of incentives for new hotel development territory-wide.
Some of the listeners weighing in, Southwest is the gray hung of the skies. My son's godfather is the employee shopkeeper for almost 40 years. Well, on the mainland, they hop to the lower cost airport. They don't fly to Miami, instead Fort Lauderdale and Orlando. They don't fly to DFW, but an airport in Houston. Hobby, they fly to Hobby. Mm-hmm. That's the alternative to the George Bush airport over there. Mm-hmm. But they say, if you don't like layovers, don't fly Southwest.
Yeah, that person clearly is very informed even on their route. So, yeah, it's access and it's cost. I couldn't think of a better way to say it. It's mm-hmm. the Greyhound of the skies. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Now, Eddie Bruce told me the United Airlines St. Thomas to Chicago flight 4 hours nonstop, very convenient. So,
very convenient.
But O'Hare is one of the, if not the most popular airport, along with one Atlanta.
Correct.
Hartsfield Jackson.
Hartsfield Jackson.
Yeah.
And in Chicago, strategically so, we're doing a lot of work. We have the partnership with the the Cubs. We take activations. I was sharing while I was in New York that the beauty of what we do is that we don't just go in a particular area and say we have sun, sea, sand, come see us. We actually bring the experience. When we do the tailgate parties for sports partnerships, when we take the activations to Chicago, we take a slice of the USVA, whether it's the entertainment of the mocos, the dancers. We curate the experiences where you could have an actual sandbox that's like the beach. You know, the coconuts that are shaved and branded for USVI. So when people are there, you got over 70, 80,000 people in a stadium. It's cold. We mark it when it's cold. And you see and you experience the warmth of the people and the vibe. There's no other option but to explore, whether it's Southwest, United, American, to get here.
Now, my biggest concern for the region is the lack of commuter airlines taking us from outside of the northern part of the Caribbean, the leeward, and taking us down to the windward. When I was young, when I was small, that was not a problem. You know, we had before you born, you just come the other day. We had Caribbean, we had Liat, we had BWIA. Even American Eagle was actually the best thing that ever happened to us. That commuter ability, and of course they were centered in San Juan. What can we do from a commuter standpoint? The notion that my one of my, like a big brother told me that he'd got Trinidad every year, and he got to fly to Miami to fly back to Trinidad. Something fundamentally wrong with that.
Absolutely, and I relate to that fully, right? I'm a Virgin Islander, but I was born and raised Vincentian. So I feel that pain and that plight, because for me to get down to St. Vincent, it's the same thing. I have to go up to Miami, or I have to do a round robin tour, whether through BVI or find a way to get through St. Martin. So the U.S. Virgin Islands, we rejoined about 3 or 4 years ago, the Caribbean Tourism Organization. I serve on the executive board of directors, and our commissioner, brand new commissioner, Jennifer Matarangas King, serves on the Council of Ministers. And that's one of the main areas of focus, regional inter-Caribbean transportation, because we acknowledge between St. Thomas and St. Croix, there's a huge diaspora, whether it's Dominica, whether it's St. Lucia, whether it's Antigua, whether it's St. Kitts. So the constituents need to be able to get home, whether it's for a wedding, an unfortunate funeral, or just for trade and commerce. We just had the huge agriculture fair here, and we had a good showing and representation from throughout the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, and the Leeward Islands. So we know that it's critical for us to really work together to see how we could make it attractive and still lucrative for airlines to travel. We have a relationship with Contour Airlines out of St. Thomas, and they're doing a couple weekly flights to Dominica. And I did that flight, and I realized that it's really convenient. When you leave from St. Thomas, you get to Dominica, there's St. Lucia. From St. Lucia, there's St. Vincent. We have some conversations that are ongoing with another airline to promote a flight from St. Croix to St. Lucia. We have Cape Air, who have been exceptional partners, who are taking persons to Anguilla, to Nevis. So there are little things, small progress that's being made, but we know and understand the importance of really working on those relationships and having an established, reliable mode of transportation for persons throughout the Caribbean. Because I remember, like you mentioned, I might be younger, Neville, but I sure do remember the American Eagle flight that took me from Puerto Rico all the way right down to St. Vincent and wherever. Same thing with Liat. So that is very, very important and a huge priority for us as Department of Tourism, because there's value in regional and inter-Caribbean tourism too. And for us as a U.S. territory, persons have the ability, whether it's for commerce, whether it's for business, whatever the travel is, for them to be able to share the experience between the Caribbean and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Let's transition to the cruise ship. What's the biggest needs for the cruise ship industry locally?
Locally, the one thing, because we do whether it's our opportunity for visitor surveys or exit surveys, or we have continuous communication with the cruise lines. We are platinum members of the FCCA, Florida Caribbean Cruise Association. And Michelle Page and her group are very, very, very reliable when it comes to maintaining and enhancing the relationship we have with all the cruise lines. So persons who cruise now, before, U.S. travelers or even international travelers wanted the opportunity to get away to enjoy the Caribbean. The Caribbean, essentially, we have the same resources. Beaches, sunshine, it's summer all year round, and, it's a Caribbean getaway. Travelers are now looking for a special, curated experience. So when they get off that ship, it's no longer just about going to Megan's Bay or getting off the pier here in St. Croix and just going down to Christiansted. They want to be able to experience how we eat. So you would always find a chicken shack full of cruisers. Persons want to be able to come off, and if we have the ability, we have persons who are seasoned cooks. And red grout is something I have never heard of or experienced any place else in the Caribbean. They want to go and taste and experience how it's done, how it tastes, and how I could have this experience as a memory that I could take away from St. Croix, as this is special to St. Croix. So you find persons now, and that's why we're really working with Excel and St. Croix. We have some entrepreneurs that are coming from St. Croix to St. Thomas when that ship comes on a weekly basis to actually be on the ship selling their products. And in selling their products, they're selling a special slice of the Virgin Islands. And we know St. Thomas has a vibe. St. Croix definitely has a vibe like no other. And so does St. John. So the special, unique thing that represents each island that's exactly what travelers are looking for. And we know, Neville, I talk a lot, right? But cruise is the gateway to overnight travel. So if we do it right, they will come back to enjoy the destination.
What about the small cruise ships, the ones that are going to the British Virgin Islands and they stopping in the Virgin Islands?
We have a couple, actually have an upcoming meeting next week with one of the smaller luxury ones. We had a couple inaugural calls on St. Thomas. We actually had one last year. We had the Ritz-Carlton inaugural call on St. Croix. So there is interest because those are what you consider the luxury travelers, right? And luxury
seaborne cruises, they got 21-day cruise out of San Juan that ends in Barbados, and they hit the BVI twice. So between Puerto Rico is the Virgin Islands. So I'm curious as to why we can't get some of that, because they are the high-end spenders.
The conversations are ongoing. What people miss, though, they may not come to St. Thomas or St. Croix. They're doing St. John. And the discussions that we're having now that are ongoing are
I'm good with that.
Correct. How they're not just docked off St. John. Let's get them off the ship to enjoy and experience Trung Bay, which is world's best beach.
Look, we were talking about that the other day. That Trung Bay off the list, man. What happened? What going on? It seems like a conspiracy there, because you don't go from number one all the way to off the list of 50.
Right.
So something's up.
Right. Well, I don't really subscribe to the conspiracy theorists or theories, but there's no doubt whether.
But I see in the Bats, and I seen all these other beaches in Dominican Republic and Anguilla, and they're on the list for consecutive years. I'm to Trung Bay, and Trung Bay Trung Bay better than them.
I'll tell you, I agree, I concur. And whether on or off a list, anybody who experienced the magic of Trunk Bay would know it is the best. Cinnamon.
My partner is in Thomas Chin to tell me that the Trunk Bay ain't the only one. They got whole heap of them over there. They got a list of them over there. Fish Bay and Maho Bay and all them over there. That is there. And of course, we got good beaches in St. Thomas and St. Croix as well. So
absolutely.
That's what we got.
Absolutely.
How the new commissioner working out, man?
Oh, she's great. I mean, as we...
You know she got a birthday coming up, right?
Yes,
she and I share the same birthday next week, so...
Oh, beautiful.
So make sure you take care of her.
Absolutely.
Tuesday. Make sure you take care of her.
Absolutely. Y'all are the Pisces Nation.
Yeah.
I happen to have a personal bias toward Pisces. Y'all are pretty amazing people. I must concur.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
And that's from a Libra woman. I mean, from a Libra woman to y'all Pisces, y'all are pretty amazing people. So
the BMP director was on, and I played a song. While she was here, and I sent this. Can I get to come up? No.
It's a Vinci song.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you gotta get to come.
No. Yeah, something I can up. Yeah, touch.
Man can't take both.
Not that one.
Oh my God.
Not that one. Move your front.
Hey.
I got to defend them on them. You know what I mean?
No, Barbara would definitely know.
No, she was singing it verbatim. You know what I mean? That was a big tune way back in the day, though.
There's something really special about Touch Band, boy.
Yeah. So everything all right? Everything good?
Everything's great. So, wanted to talk about.
Get ready for Carnival?
Absolutely. We're right in the midst of the planning, and we're going to execute just as we did here in St. Croix for Festival. Carnival in St. Thomas is the next big stop, and something that travelers and locals have to look forward to. We have an amazing lineup for the Village Nights, and we're really looking forward to. There's a lot of work that goes into the execution of these 3 reasons to fit. Mm-hmm. And, we just want to make sure...
That's it.
Move your front.
That's it.
You found it. There you go. That's Touch Band. So as we talk about Carnival, Neville, throughout
we'll take a break.
Okay.
Take a break and then wrap up the conversation because we got some guests coming in for Arts Thursday. So we'll take a break, come back, wrap up the conversation with Miss RoseAnne Farrington, Deputy Commissioner from the Department of Tourism, bodyguard here, making sure that all is well. Be back right after this.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
She's laying a foundation for pretty much everything now that we do with solar.
The Sun Queen on American Experience.
Tune in March 11th at 10 p.m. on WTJX TV Channel 12.
American Masters profiles artists on the rise. Janae Bridges breaks down barriers in opera.
I am channeling every queen with this role.
While Reese Palmer carves out her own space in the country world.
I want to make music that matters.
See how they use their voices to inspire change.
It makes me feel like I'm making a difference.
On American Masters.
Tune in March 5th at 9:30 p.m. on WTJX TV Channel 12. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Russ Murley, and this is your WTJX local forecast. This is Thursday, the 5th of March. Sunshine, partly sunny at times, spotty showers, middle to upper 80s this afternoon. Easterly winds at 10 to 20. Isolated showers, middle to upper 70s tonight. Lots of sun tomorrow, partly sunny at times, late day showers, middle to upper 80s. A few showers, upper 70s tomorrow night. Partly sunny and windy, spotty showers Saturday, middle to upper 80s. Rip current risk will be mostly moderate at area beaches today. Millions of Americans turn to PBS for reliable reporting that's made the PBS NewsHour one of the most trusted news programs. You'll find it weeknights at 7 p.m. on WTJX-TV, Channel 12.
WTJX 93.1 Charlotte Amalia, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
Views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Melody there.
No, my DJ is the best.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. If I don't know about this one, right? This one come out in about either 90 or 91. All the way back then. 91?
1991.
And I used to hang out. I can't really tell how where I used to hang out, but I used to hang out at a location every Friday night. They used to blast this one, and you would hear it there at least. If I hang out there for 3 or 4 hours, you hear it 4 or 5 times.
Move your front.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, man. Big tune out of St. Vincent. The name of the band is Touch.
Touch band.
Yeah, Touch band. They still exist or they break up?
No, they still they don't exist. They members, they're doing different things under different bands.
Okay. Now,
you know, Pat Raggy was the leader. Black Sun. Black Sun was a great band too. So.
Out of St. Vincent?
Out of St. Vincent too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Winston So-So. That's the band.
Winston So-So. Shout out to some of our greatest Kaiso kings and queens.
Yeah. No, Winston So-So were big in the 70s and 80s and so.
What is your favorite Winston So-So?
Diane.
In the heat, no, Diane.
Soca Diane
in the heat of the jam, she want to go home.
Soca Diane were big for women. Yeah. That's a 70s, late 70s hit. You know what I'm saying? So, and 2+2 owner Stumpy. He actually brought Winston So-So here back in the day.
He did tell me that.
Yeah, back in the day. So we got an event coming up.
Yes, we do.
Talk about it.
And you keep alluding to a bodyguard in here, but this is an amazing professional woman who is working alongside the Department of Tourism. I'm leading the initiative on behalf of tourism as the destination for the upcoming Governor Albert Bryan Golf Classic. It's a charity weekend event. All proceeds garnered from these events go toward national and local JAG, which is Jobs for America's Graduates.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be March 13th to 15th right here in St. Croix. We have the opportunity to spotlight the destination, the Buccaneer Resort and golf course. We have a couple governors that are flying in to support this charity event. We have some off-island, pretty big VIP celebrity people who see and value the importance of really supporting our youth. And JAG is in my past life, I served as a school guidance counselor, social worker. So I know on a first-hand basis the importance of resources and programs like JAG. There are students who are at risk in several different areas, whether it's single-parent home, child of a parent who might have been incarcerated, socioeconomic levels, whether it's poverty level. And these specialists within the schools, the public high schools, both on St. Thomas and St. Croix, work not just with the students, but with the families to provide wraparound services to ensure that these students get to graduation despite the factors that may prohibit them from getting there. So there's a 97% graduation rate for students who are enrolled in JAG. And they're doing some amazing things. So a couple of the things on the Saturday, which is the 14th, there'll be an opportunity for the students to do a media interview with Governor Bryan. And then there's a JAG mini summit that we're putting together at Government House, which includes national students. We have 4 students that are flying in, and some of our local students, both present and past, who can really share the impact that JAG has had and is having on their lives, in addition to really enhancing the knowledge and the exposure that the community has where JAG is concerned. So it's a noble opportunity to, like I mentioned, support the programs. But Neville, it's been a humbling experience to see the support that we have received from the business community locally and nationally, who want to be able to really truly support something that's bigger than all of us, which is the youth, the development of our youth, which in tourism, we know they're the next to come. They're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the persons who are entrepreneurs where tourism is concerned in our communities. So in the Department of Tourism, we're huge in supporting our young people.
So Friday the 13th, what happens that day?
Friday the 13th, we have a welcome reception for all persons who are flying in. We have almost 100 persons flying in from different parts of the U.S. To support this. And then on the Saturday, there is the JAG Mini Summit, which we're doing for the students. And the evening of that Saturday, there's a cigar whiskey aficionado event that's open to persons who are willing to purchase tickets to attend. And the same thing, all proceeds go toward Jobs for America's graduates. And then the culmination of the weekend is the golf tournament on Sunday at Buccaneer. And I'm super proud to say that we only have about 4 spots left for the golf tournament. We're just about at capacity and sold out. So this is we know what's important to share is that Governor Bryan is the chairman of JAG and the only black serving governor to serve as chair for the Jobs for America's graduates. So it's really important to show nationally to the executive board, to the JAG organization, that here in the Virgin Islands, we take our young people, we prioritize them, and we take their growth and their development seriously, which would be, showing up and showing out for this charity weekend event.
Congratulations on this event, and anything that we could do to promote
I'm going to get that to you for sure.
Our young people.
Yes.
Definitely in support of that. The governor had something to do with young people at UVI too, before he was a governor?
Yes, before that, in between when
he was a
commissioner of labor.
Yeah, I was a Senate president here, and I had met at UVI. That's something down there with our young people.
Correct.
Education.
It was junior achievement.
Junior achievement. That's what it is.
Junior achievement. So supporting young people and promoting our young people is no secret or nothing new to the governor. So we just want to continue to show that we stand in solidarity. It's tough being an adult, much less to a young person now. So we want to be able to really show love and support so that they know. I always share, I know, I don't understand why you give me this short amount of time today, Neville, but I'll take it. I'll lovingly accept it. But I like to share with people.
I used to afraid you. I afraid you no more. Let me just put that on there. I used to be afraid of you. I ain't no more.
I'm so happy you're not afraid of me anymore.
I got to keep my composure because I got what I just coming out at 10. So I ain't going to go there. But just wanted to put that on the record.
Yes.
Okay? But next week, you could get a segment if you want next week. But since you want to be forward.
Yes.
Right? I might just have to don't offer that segment because the event happening on Friday, so it would be good.
Yes.
On Wednesday or Thursday.
Yes.
But
I'll accept it.
I
I'll
lovingly
accept it.
I don't know. I don't know about that because since you want to be forward with me on my show, so we'll figure it
It's
out.
Lead with Love. I just wanted to end and say, Neville, that as we support two really super important months in the Virgin Islands History Month and International Women's Month, that we
Okay. See, you'll get 10 minutes.
Yes.
You'll get 10 more minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
We're going to go till 9:20.
Okay,
good. Yeah.
So I just wanted to...
Glenn, don't be afraid of that, Glenn. Don't be afraid. But I know for logistical purposes, it makes sense to go at 9:20. But don't ever give
Glenn,
me the impression.
we love and appreciate you.
Know
Thank you, Glenn. Okay. But I wanted to share, Neville, that here in the Virgin Islands, I remember one of the questions they just asked me at the panel in New York is that as a community, what do we do to promote and support, women in leadership and the promotion of just empowering young women. And I think it's really important for us to know. I'm pretty transparent in sharing my immigration journey. Born and raised Vincentian, I ended up in the continental U.S. in Huntsville, Alabama, and then found my home in this paradise, USVI. And in that journey...
You know about Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
You know what that is? They were Huntsville there?
No, Alabama.
Huntsville,
Alabama.
Oh,
yes.
Alabama. Oh, okay.
Huntsville,
okay.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M University.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
But my home, I'm an island girl. My home is here in the Caribbean in this paradise, and I take I take the opportunity strategically and intentionally to always reach back and speak with young women, especially. I have traveled to St. Vincent that's coming up to go back to my St. Joseph Convent School, where I graduated from, to really share with young girls that sometimes when you dream and you're inspired by a dream, don't let anybody discourage you. Dream big. And that the platforms I sit on today and the shoulders I stand on, Dilsa Captiville, my mother, my grandmother, and other amazing women in our communities, I stand on those shoulders based on their hard work and sacrifice. And my intention is for my own daughter and the other daughters of these Virgin Islands and throughout the Caribbean to know and understand that if you dream it, you can do it and be it. And that unapologetically, we should pursue the things that are intended to help us to be our very best.
Martin Neville asked the Deputy Commissioner why we don't build a partnership with Winair. They're based out of St. Martin. Are you familiar with Winair?
I am absolutely familiar with Winair. Winair, just like Caribbean Airlines and Inter-Caribbean, these are, believe it or not, conversations that we have and that are ongoing. One of the challenges we have with the Caribbean Airlines is the fact that we're a U.S. territory and there are a lot more compliance issues where FAA and other things and customs and other things are concerned. So we were able to work through the hurdles of getting that done for Contour. I mean, Contour is actually based in, I think it's Tennessee or one of the states. So this is something that is definitely ongoing. We have had some great conversations with some of those airlines, but then they find that, there's more lift because we could get the flight, and we have seen that. We get the lift, but it's to keep the lift. Is to have the lift supported, whether through our own travel by filling those seats or subsidized through our government. So I can promise you and assure you, especially in the Caribbean Tourism Organization level, these are relationships that we have, that we're building on, and that we're working through.
What about the flight? We have a flight to the Dominican Republic?
Oh, we do. Actually, out of St. Thomas, yes, the Sky High. And
that's a direct flight from St. Thomas to the Dominican Republic?
Correct, to the capital,
twice
Santo
a week.
Domingo, twice a week, yeah.
Okay.
And Neville.
I've never been to the Dominican Republic, no. They say all man from the Virgin Islands been to the Dominican Republic at least once. I have yet to go to the Dominican Republic. No.
Oh, well, your hair is well nicely braided, so I thought you went to visit before.
I go find a way to get out there.
There's a way, though. There's a way through St. Thomas, and that flight is doing well.
That's good.
It's full.
That's good. How about JetBlue?
JetBlue, we're working with JetBlue. JetBlue is consistently has a stronghold where St. Thomas is concerned, and JetBlue is another one of those flights where even when we think of hopping over to Puerto Rico,
right? JetBlue.
They what?
JetBlue still come to St. Croix?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it used to be at San Juan to St.
Correct.
Croix.
Correct.
St. Croix back to San Juan.
Correct. Right now for San Juan we have Fly the Wheel.
Fly the Wheel.
Correct.
And did a flight to the small airport, Isla Verde airport.
Correct.
And then you shuttle over to the big airport, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Let me see what else there, McBride. Yeah. You mentioned Cape Air. We gonna get a shout out to Cape Air. I've never flown Cape Air in my life,
Neville, there's a lot of nevers I hear.
Never. And I man like to get out the territory. But when my mind set with somebody, seaplane.
Yeah.
I used to text Seaboard, St. Croix. I've done Fly the Wheel, right? Alexander Tassanes, he used to live on. He used to tease. He used to live on Cape Air.
Cape Air.
That was him.
Cape Air has a great. I did the flight to Nevis. It's an easy, great flight that gets you from St. Thomas and St. Croix to Nevis. So those are great flights that are being supported.
I get spoiled, man. When I was young, when we used to fly Caribbean. When school had done, and my mother used to say, "Okay, I go in Antigua for the majority of the summer." A big plane. I get used to a big plane from when I was small. The one that I really miss is the American Eagle. When you get to San Juan, you could see the world.
I do too, and non-stop.
And that's not our fault,
Right.
They had whatever they had down there.
Correct.
And because a lot of Puerto Ricans, they fly to New York, Newark, LaGuardia, Philly, right, that northeast area.
And the Orlando.
Orlando happened in about 2006,
Correct.
when they had the economic problems down there. You had a lot of Puerto Ricans relocated, went to the States because they were suffering from a brain drain. But American don't fly direct from San Juan to New York anymore. That's Delta.
That's Delta,
right?
correct.
They do fly to Philly, right?
We have Delta from St. Thomas to New York to JFK too.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
We do.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, the Spirit situation, they've been having some financial issues. There was an announcement this week, which was a good news deal, but you never know until things are signed on the dotted line and all that stuff. And Spirit was a very popular way to travel out of the Virgin Islands.
Correct.
Direct or
economical too.
And Fort Lauderdale. People like going to Fort Lauderdale.
And Orlando.
So we're monitoring that?
We are monitoring. Spirit is like I mentioned when we spoke about Southwest being a good partner when it comes to the millennials or traveler who's looking to make a trip on a budget. So Spirit is very, very, very important.
Don't walk a lot of back because they're waiting for you.
You willing to do a backpack? You good.
And I've never flown Spirit.
We gotta fix these numbers.
But they don't touch you up. Once they see a bag, you're 30.
Yeah. You gotta be smart. That's the thing. You gotta be a smart.
Or chuck a bag inside the bag.
Right.
Shop when you're shopping and pay that bag cost
on the return
when you come back. So next week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the JAG event.
Yes, Jo-Ann, you could share the website information.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, the website for the golf tournament is info@usvigolfclassic.com, or you can call my cell at 340-643-2342 for more information.
It took me a radio show with the Department of Tourism to get a cell phone number. Was it 643?
2342.
I was just about to say, Neville, I ain't responsible for who call or don't call it.
Info
at usvigolfclassic.com.
Golfclassic.com. And that takes place next Sunday?
That's next Sunday at Buccaneer.
At Buccaneer. Okay, good. Info at USVI.
And before we go, Neville, the Cigar Whiskey Aficionado event at Cane Garden Estate is actually open to our public here who would like to purchase tickets on that same website to support JAG, to support being a part of a really nice upscale USVI St. Croix, a vibe like no other kind of experience.
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be with you too. I like the braids.
Always.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
celebrated stars. Audra McDonald in London,
I am what I am.
where she sings some of Broadway's best. And you know you're in for a good time.
I could have danced all night. I'll give you stars in the moon. Have fun.
Don't miss the amazing Audra McDonald at the London Palladium on Great Performances.
Tune in March 6th at 10 p.m. on WTJX TV, Channel 12.
I'm Indira Lakshmanan. Cows may not be known for their smarts, but researchers in Vienna discovered a cow named Veronica using brooms and sticks to gently scratch herself, a use of tools only seen before in humans and certain primates.
She was not just using it in one single way, she was using objects that had two different sides as a multi-purpose tool.
Next time on Here and Now.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1. This is a WTJX FM community calendar. The Aaliyah Boston 2026 Girls Basketball Clinic is happening Saturday, March 26, beginning at 8:30 a.m. at the Antilles School Mark C. Marin Center. Register at AaliyahBostonFoundation.org. And if you'd like your event aired on the WTJX community calendar, please send it at least 2 weeks in advance to news at WTJX.org.
And we're back here on Les This. I want to thank the Department of Tourism for making an appearance. Got a big event coming up next week with the golf tournament for all young people and all that stuff. So, it's Arch Thursday. We got in the studio Mr. Oren Levine.
That's right.
Levine. And Ms. Lisa Mordhorst from Out of the West. Hold on a second. Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts. That's it?
That's it. CMCArts.
CMC.
Good morning,
Neville.
Neville.
Good morning as well. We got Aaron Myers on the line as well. Aaron Myers, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, we're good.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for having us this morning.
Okay, good. So, Lisa, since you're the host of the event, I'm going to yield to you. Go right ahead.
So coming up next Thursday is March 11th, right? 12th. March 12th, next Thursday from 6 to 9, we have our regular monthly Dr. Simone L. Palmer concert series. And we're thrilled to be hosting Aaron Myers from Washington, D.C. with Oren Levine, also from Washington, D.C., but a recent full-time resident of St. Croix. So we're really looking forward to this concert. Again, 6 to 9 p.m. next Thursday, the 12th. It's part of our regular series monthly during high season. And we're grateful to our sponsor for the Dr. Simone L. Palmer concert series, and that sponsor is the Dr. Simone L. Palmer Wellness Center. So big shout out for keeping this concert series alive. We're in our 4th season.
That's awesome. Mr. Levine, you want well, good morning once again. You want to introduce Mr. Myers?
Yeah, so Aaron Myers is a phenomenal musician, band leader, activist, entertainer. I met him in Washington about over 15 years ago, and we worked for over 15 years in the D.C. area. We've played a lot of performances together. We recorded together. We've written songs together. And I was thrilled to have the opportunity to invite him down to our favorite island for the show next week. I think it's going to be a really special performance. In fact, Aaron and I we co-wrote a song called Island in the Sea several years ago, which of course was inspired by St. Croix. So we'll see. Maybe we'll add that to the set next week.
Mr. Myers, good morning. Welcome to Analyze This.
Thank you for having us. I'm looking forward to experiencing much better weather there than we're having here in Washington, D.C.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
Well, as far as just my history or background in this music,
Yeah, growing up where
No.
fell in love with music, all that good stuff.
No, I'm originally from a very small town in Texas called Goodloe, Texas. It's a very small community, and of course, in that community, there's not a lot of performing opportunities outside of church. So a lot of the work that I do was informed by how inspired by music in the church. And from there, going to the military and the college, of course, had an opportunity to get influence and by other genres. And I did fall quite in love with jazz. And I like to think that if you grew up watching television or anything, jazz followed many of us of a certain generation everywhere because it influenced all of the type of media that we happen to see. And from there, being in Hollywood for a number of years and then moving to Washington, I've had the opportunity to perform with some great people and to do some writing and acting. But I think some of the love that I've had doing as far as live music has been working with Oren and other musicians here in Washington, D.C. It has been really just a joy. I've had the opportunity to record about 4 albums. We're preparing to release. I'm preparing to release the 5th one here relatively soon. Work with the Recording Academy and the Grammys. We just had the Grammys last month, and we had a very successful event out in Los Angeles for that. So I'm it's really the work I do. My music has been centered, of course, not only around the African American experience, but trying to offer give agency to voices to those who are also marginalized, so that their experiences may be heard through my music as well.
So you live in D.C.?
Yes.
How long you been in D.C.?
17 years.
So you know about go-go music?
I know more than just a little bit about it. I helped write and some resolutions to support it. I actively support it now, and I remember the last time I saw Chuck Brown, as far as just his being, was here in Washington, D.C. I even had the privilege of attending his funeral.
So, because...
Now, do you know go-go music?
it don't mean a thing if you ain't got the go-go swing.
Yep. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
There's a doo-wop, 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 doo-wop. I don't know if that answers your question, you know what I'm saying? But, you know.
A little bit.
I grew up as a Chuck Brown fan. You know, I'm up there. You know, when we were teenagers, he had a song named Bustin' Loose. That to me is one of the it's not only a great go-go song, it's like this great instrumental. You know, you get all the instruments up in that, and then so I did some research on that as well, and I found out that his saxophone player actually played with James Brown before he went to play with Chuck Leroy Fleming, right? And if you call James Brown name, everybody actually about Maceo Parker, which is his sax guy, but it was Chuck Brown's sax man who opened the door for Maceo to get the gig with James Brown. You know what I'm saying? So there's history. There's such beautiful history behind all musicians. That's the reason why I asked you about your background and all that stuff. But you look young. I just pulled you up. I just pulled you up on my device, and you look young, but yet you're telling me about Texas, Hollywood, Army, D.C. What's that? You've been nonstop all your life? You haven't taken a break?
Well, the only reason I've been able to do the things that I'm doing now is that I'm not married and I don't have children.
But you're into the piano and you sing.
Yes. I played the piano since I was 3 years old. Wow. And, of course, started singing in the church, and I have not stopped since.
So I'm
still in the ministry of music of a church.
So how do you and Oren vibe off of each other if both of you playing the same instrument?
Well, when we do our shows, I primarily am a vocal.
Okay.
But I think Oren can attest that I have no problem jumping on the piano from time to time. So if you ever play piano with me, you do get a break because
right.
oftentimes I'm on the piano as well.
And we've done a couple of bits where we both play piano at the same time.
So, quickly to wrap up this part of the conversation, you said you did 4 albums. Lonely, Please Take Care of You. See, Please Take Care of You for Me, Ooey Baby, and Leo Rising. These 4 albums over what kind of time span?
Well, no. So the album, the first one came out in 2013. Actually, it was started being written earlier than that, but we finally got to New York to record it. So we had Leo Rising, and then The Lion's Den was next. Third, we had a holiday album. One of the songs from the holiday album, actually, Oren and our whole band happened to write on July 4th in Oren's living room, called Snowing in Vegas, which was pretty cool. Then the last album, of course.
What about the Pride album?
The Pride album, yes.
Yeah.
The Pride album came out in 21, yes.
Okay.
And that came out right toward the end part of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening, if you want to see the Pride visual album, you can see it for free on YouTube, but also I partner with PBS, and so the visual album still plays now 5 years later on PBS, which is pretty awesome.
That's good. Oren, talk about the chemistry. And
Yeah,
how,
so
and why that's critical, just for any band, actually.
I mean, I met Aaron at the Black Fox Lounge, which was a little club in D.C., right after I moved back to D.C. around 2010, and started sitting in with him. Eventually, we just sort of became musical partners, and we somehow or another clicked. I think it was, trying to think what it was. I mean, we sort of share a lot of the same music, some overlap. Of course, I don't have any church music in my background, but we're both, jazz players. We both appreciate you're in the minority with that, right? You know that. What? Not playing church music?
Like 85 to 90% of all artists in America had some kind of church music.
I know I'm in a minority.
Even Axl Rose for Guns N' Roses, you know what I'm saying? It started in church. I
believe it.
When I heard that, I was like, yo.
Well, I grew up in a conservative synagogue, and we didn't have instrumental music at all.
Okay.
May have missed out on that.
Your excuse.
All right. In fact, actually, Aaron, when you come to Ireland, I think that'll be interesting because a lot of the musicians here, especially in St. Croix, are all church players. But anyway, we continued working together in D.C. and we found, one of the first things we worked on right after I moved back, I wrote a song about the D.C. Metro called Stand Right, about the long escalators and the necessity for escalator etiquette, that people stand on the right and walk on the left. So I wrote a song called Stand Right and Walk Left, and we recorded that together pretty early on, and that sort of led to a string of recordings. I invited Aaron to record my album in 2018. He sang a bunch of songs. We recorded several singles together, including Island in the Sea, which I mentioned, and a song called Don't Sleep on Me, sort of a self-empowerment song for musicians. And most recently, I had the privilege to play at Blues Alley a couple of years ago and invited Aaron to join me on that show when I headlined my first show there. And it's been, a wonderful sort of musical partnership and friendship, sort of combining our different backgrounds, but sort of meeting in the middle of, this African-American music we call jazz.
Who were your influences, Aaron Meyer, growing up?
Well, growing up from a church standpoint, Thomas A. Dorsey, James Cleveland, the Davis sisters, and things of that nature. And then my grandparents had an actual Victrola, and they had these old records. And so the first jazz influences I heard, of course, were Louis Armstrong, Fats Waller, and Billie Holiday, and things of that nature. I'm Dinah Washington, huge fan of Dinah Washington. But as we look at our modern contemporaries, both from a gospel standpoint and then also from a jazz standpoint, you see so much overlap. So, Gregory Porter is doing, wonderful things. Ron Carter just did this partnership with Ricky, I was trying to say Richard Smallwood, but not Richard Smallwood, but Ricky Dillard, which is showing a direct intersection of both jazz and gospel. As you know, we just lost Richard Smallwood as a piano player. Starting off in church, a lot of people just play by ear, and so Richard Smallwood was a breath of wonderful for someone who was actually, reading music and being able to translate what they heard on the record quite accurately through the music as it was written, making it a bit easier to teach. So you're not teaching primarily from tonal echoes, you're actually teaching from a score. So my influences range all the way from Richard Smallwood, all the way back to the Thomas Dorsey or James Cleveland, all the way now from the Ricky Dillard from a gospel standpoint, but seeing the influences still from Dinah Washington, Jasmine Horn, who I really enjoy in today's work. The Baylors, the Baylor Project, Gene and Marcus Baylor, who we hear today, is a great deal. So I'm fortunate. I would like to think that I've been influenced not only by some of the older players and the foundational jazz the creators, even still to those who are creating today. There's a lot of fantastic jazz players that are putting out music each and every day. Lakeisha Benjamin, who's a saxophone player, who is probably the most toured person you're going to find too. I was in Dubai in November, and
I'm glad you weren't there over the weekend.
Listen. I have been in countries during some difficult terms. I was on tour in Russia when the invasion happened, and had to escape the country. Thankfully, with the help of Oren and his wife, Dorit, we were able to get an action plan together, and I was able to get out of the country by way of Qatar, then a 15-hour flight back to the United States. I was probably on the last unencumbered flight from Russia that Sunday.
You're talking about the most recent invasion with Ukraine?
Yes, and yes.
2022.
I was on tour.
Wow.
I was on tour when that happened.
Wow.
So I'm glad I was not. I have been. I've been there.
I understand.
I know all about the STEP program and the State Department and all that good stuff. It's a wild thing to do, but you just have to be vigilant and call on your friends and figure out, make the best plan. I think being in the military helped me be able to withstand that particular situation. However, we have some fantastic musicians that are putting out music, really daily. And I believe that if you are a true music lover and a performer, you are continually influenced. I remember Chrissy Dashield, who just got the NAACP award in jazz with Terry Lynn Carrington, and she's also nominated this year. I remember she had just put out an album and she covered a Stevie Wonder song. This has to be about 8 years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And Noble Jolly, we played on her record and was playing for me in the show. And I wanted to sing that cover of hers, and I had him reach out to her and say, "You think I could just sing that in my show in that particular arrangement?" Since he recorded the song, he knew the arrangement quite well and could really get the band together. And she said, "Absolutely." So I'm looking forward. Nicole Zarantis is doing this thing called the Modern Songbook, the Modern Jazz Songbook, where we're a lot of, when you go to jazz jams, you find this real book, and the real book is full of songs that are, sometimes 70+ years old.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to ask Lisa about the jazz influence at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Art, because it's rich, and it's a main course. So we'll take a break and be back right after this.
Analyze This is underwritten by Bank of St. Croix. Nonprofits are the backbone of the U.S. Virgin Islands, with deep community knowledge and a history of stepping in, especially during times of crisis. Bank of St. Croix is committed to supporting their mission with a community investment checking account, helping nonprofits earn interest with no monthly service fee and no minimum balance. For information, visit bankofstcroix.com. Bank of St. Croix is proud to support public media in the Virgin Islands.
So I spent the past year trying to figure out what news designed for 21st century humans might look like. One of the things that really stuck with me was that we now know that humans actually need hope to get up in the morning. And I don't think as a journalist I ever thought about it that way.
We're always looking for new and better ways to understand the world we live in. That's On Point with me, Meghna Chakrabarty.
Weekdays at 1 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
She was an artist, an illustrator, a suffragist. She was a prodigy, a socialite, and the first female American cartoonist. She was the creator of the world-famous Cupid doll, a lovable character that made her a millionaire and an icon. But above all, Rose O'Neill was a humanitarian. Join us as we explore the 7 decades of her remarkable story and celebrate with us the artful life of Rose O'Neill.
Tune in March 7 at 8:30 p.m. on WTJX TV, Channel 12.
As the Pentagon separates transgender troops from the military, one former top general wonders if the focus on gender identity distracts from mission readiness.
We're in a major war and we need to start calling everybody up. I would hope that we would not suddenly say we are only going to draft people of a certain type because we wouldn't have enough.
I'm Elsa Chang. That story on All Things Considered from NPR News.
All Things Considered, weekdays from 5:30 to 8 p.m. on WTJX FM 93.1.
And we're back here on Analyze This. It's the Arts Thursday. We got Mr. Oren Levine, right, here in the studio, along with Miss Caribbean Music Center for the Arts, Lisa Mordhorst from down in the West. And we got Mr. Aaron Myers on the phone. He's going to be performing next Thursday.
Next Thursday,
right?
The 12th.
March 12th. Talk about the Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts and how the jazz influence is actually like foundational with what you guys do down there.
Well,
I mean, you take out, you embrace all kinds of genres. I'm not, knocking.
We embrace all the arts, and include entrepreneurialism in that.
But there's something about jazz and
there is
CMCs.
Yeah, it feels organic. It feels
CMCA. I'm sorry.
CMCArts. Yes. And thanks. I really appreciate being here with you, Neville, and the listening audience. Whenever we have the opportunity,
I always appreciate having you here.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
So the concert's next Thursday, March 12th at CMCArts, and it is part of our Dr. Simone L. Palmer concert series. That is in its 4th season. We're very proud to say that. And I do think that the jazz genre has a history with CMCArts, but I think that has grown organically. Our venue lends to, it's a smaller venue, so instead of, we can't really house a large reggae concert or a soca concert. It's just the nature of the space. We can only hold so many people, and so I think that the location itself, the beautiful courtyard, has lends itself to a smaller, more intimate audience, which is jazz, right? And then our goal is to support all local creatives, and I think that there are so many jazz artists here on St. Croix, and that's our mission, is to support them. So,
I just look up Miss Palmer, right, and Sandcastles.
Correct, former
right?
owner of Sandcastle.
That's right.
But she passed way too early.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even, that one was, every time you think about it, it's painful. Well, I didn't know she was born in Amityville. She's from out in Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But
she said they moved to San Francisco.
California is her identity. Was her identity? Yes.
All right. Did you get to meet Simone?
I never did. No.
No, she's a sweetheart. Yeah,
Absolutely, and dedicated to the St. Croix community.
She loves St. Croix and Frederickstead.
Yes.
You know, Frederick, there was something about sandcastles that moved her.
Yes.
And I was actually there 10, 11 days ago.
And
it'll always be.
It's the best. West is the best.
You ain't going to get me with that one. I come from Christiansted, but there is something just natural, right? I could say romantic and use all that stuff, but there's something so natural about sandcastles.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, agreed.
So I hope that is there,
Well,
forever, eternally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd like to say also a couple of things about Simone. I mean, and the creation of this series really stemmed from the passing of Eunice Tranberg, actually, where
same year.
Yeah,
2022 in January 2022.
And Simone's partner, Cheryl Smith. We were at the memorial concert. And I had just started my role as director at CMCArts, and Cheryl and Simone are close friends.
This is April 2022. That's when we had the concert for Eunice at the fort.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. That's how this whole series started. Cheryl wanted to support CMCArts, and as I just mentioned, I had just come into the role of director of the museum, and we decided to honor Simone and carry forward the music tradition, knowing that it was going to take some time to bring back Sunset Jazz and all of that. And so we wanted to fill the gap and have a place for musicians to be out west.
Wow. Oren.
Yeah.
Chime in.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, because I remember back, I think 2021 or 2022, I did a couple of live stream jazz concerts from CMCArts. I don't know if that was connected with Simone or not.
No, that was just before.
Just before.
That was just
and I
before.
realized actually we did meet Simone, because I know early on we started coming to St. Croix about 20 years ago, and we used to stay at cottages by the sea.
Right, right next door.
Right next door to Sandcastle. So we met Simone and her partner many times when we were down there.
William still in St. Croix, man?
Say again?
Bill Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd.
I haven't seen him in a while, but apparently
he was here. He released a song a couple years ago.
That's right.
He was here. What's it? He and John Belushi.
Right.
Back in the day. Blues Brothers, right?
Right.
Wow. He's a cool dude, man.
He seems that way. I've only met him once.
Yeah. But there's something about I gotta admit it, right? There's something about Frederickstead. You know what I'm saying? Where you come here from the mainland or wherever, because Dan is originally from Ottawa, right? I found that out, right? But Paul Krugman, right? He's this known economist, right, in the New York Times for years. He's been living down here for years too, and he said he done on that side of the island as well. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's really that. When you leave Frederickstead, and Mr. Myers, make sure that when you get here that you take that drive. Tell them that you were on a radio show, and I want to take that drive from downtown Frederickstead up to the northern corner, heading towards Hams Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part there when you get to the ruins, Butler Bay, Butler Bay part. It is so serene. You know, it's real. I mean, the island, the Virgin Islands, in its entirety, you know, has a serenity about it. But there's something about that con over there.
Well, and the rock formations are very moon-like, and not that I've been to the moon, but you know.
So, Mr. Myers, make sure that they take you on that drive.
We'll do that, Aaron.
Absolutely. I will hold them to it.
Okay, that's good. So, performing 6 to 9, you said?
6 to 9 p.m.
A one-time deal with Mr. Myers?
Deal, 6 to 9 p.m. March 12th, next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And during the concert series, we've been partnering up with Alba's Restaurant on King Street in Frederickstead, and they've been vending full dinner plates, so it makes a very well-rounded evening. You don't have to worry about...
What part of King Street are they?
They're just behind CMCArts, so right next to the old Lost Dog.
Okay.
And it's been a great partnership because then people don't have to worry about trying to squeeze in dinner beforehand. You can sit and enjoy your meal with the music, and
you got at King Street access, right?
No, you come in through the Strand Street.
You come through Strand.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mr. Levine, you excited about this?
Very excited. I was sort of joking that I'm missing the opportunity to play with Aaron in DC, so I sort of created an opportunity now that I'm down in St. Croix. I think it'll be a great show, and we're working with Mario Thomas and Howard Peters with the band. I think they'll have a great time as well. I think it'll be a sort of definitely a show that you don't want to miss.
No, Charu, that's how you pronounce it?
Charusuri.
Charusuri. Who has a history with CMCA.
Correct.
CMCArts.
Yes.
She was also a Grammy nominee this year.
Yes.
Yes, she was.
Yeah,
yes, she was. I saw that.
Yeah. So there's something about playing down here that actually, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and you were just mentioning Frederiksted. There's something about, that something, I define it as there's this creative energy. It pulls you. It really, you can feel it. It's alive. And I think a lot of creatives feel that instantly when you land there.
And the Sunset is the number one in the world.
And the Sunset. And
Number
Frederiksted calls you back
and the
all
pier,
the time.
The pier, looking off the pier down there as well. So after you come to St. Croix, Mr. Myers, where your travels taking you this year?
Well, so far I'll be back, of course, here in Washington doing some performing, hoping to do some gigs in Los Angeles. Finally, after not performing there in so many years. So pray that I will be able to go back over to Europe or go back to Africa. I did a wonderful show in Zimbabwe 2 years ago. Did a series of shows out there, and I'm in talks now to see if I can go back there as well. So we will see what this year brings.
And Oren, you looking to head back to the States, making some rounds? I know you live in paradise, but
yep,
you can make that cash up the way.
Yeah, I'll be back in the States. We're going back up to we got some family things in Florida at the end of this month. I'll be back in Boston at the end of April for a jazz reunion event where I went to college. I may try to get to New York. Sorry?
Where did you go to college at?
I went to MIT.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yep, last time. And they have a yearly reunion jazz band for all of us old jazz heads. So I'm going back for that, and I'll probably spend a couple of days in New York. And later in the year, I'm hoping to spend some more time other places in the States, maybe get out to L.A. myself.
What about New York City? Tell me about it. I'm partial to New York City. That's where I'm from. What is it about the jazz in New York City that just makes it different from everywhere else?
I mean, I think Aaron, you could tell this one. Take this one.
Yeah. Well, I like to think Washington, D.C. and New York City are very much so easily tied when it comes to that, because when we think of the Harlem Renaissance, our Howard Theater here is older than the Apollo, right? Mm-hmm. When people came up from Louisiana and New Orleans, they hit this particular circuit first, and many of those people who helped orchestrate what we call the Harlem Renaissance, where jazz was introduced and popularized and created this foundation, they all left the Renaissance that had just happened in Washington, D.C., and went to New York. I think New York is it's a space where it was easy to do the crossings. If you look back to 1948 when Miles Davis and all the greats went over and then came back. If you look at those who were looking for a bit of freedom in the 20s, Josephine Baker, who's coming from, that performed there in New York and then went over, of course, then to Paris and decided to stay. George Maurice Europe, who helped liberate France for World War I, but also was, and he introduced jazz to Paris. I think that the port side of New York has made where those who have influences from their different cultures can directly influence the music, and it can permeate within all the boroughs. You
mentioned Lakeisha Benjamin, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And
exactly right there.
And that name, and you could ask Lisa, having lived here for how long, Lisa?
12
years. That name sounds like a Virgin Islands name. Lakeisha Benjamin.
It does.
So, no, I'm serious. So the next time you talk to her, ask her if she has island roots. It don't have to be the Virgin Islands. It could be the Caribbean, because the name really got a Caribbean, thing to it. So when you get a chance, if you speak to her, Mr. Myers, ask her if she got any Caribbean roots, because I'm willing to bet that answer is yes.
Also, I surely will.
Yeah.
I surely will. But I think each one of the boroughs have a unique sound. I was just in New York yesterday. So, I mean, I think that New York.
But it's not limited to the boroughs though.
Could influence.
It's not limited to the boroughs though. Even Jersey City, right across. Jersey City is actually a full extension of New York City.
Absolutely. Louis Armstrong and many of them lived in New Jersey, and many of the jazz players lived in New Jersey as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that it's New York within itself not only is an exporter of jazz, it's a incubator thereof. And then you have so many of the universities that are right there. So you have young people who have an opportunity to go and experiment right alongside of their of some of the elders in the music. And so it's a wonderful interchange that happens there in New York, and it also happens here in Washington.
Mm-hmm. Talk about D.C. and the jazz influence in D.C. Oren.
Well, I mean,
yeah, go ahead, Oren.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think as Aaron was saying, I think in some ways it's the second or third jazz center compared to New York. I think going back to Duke Ellington, who was born in D.C. and came up there. I think there's a long history of jazz music and African American music in D.C. Going back years and years, and it was always a strong scene. And it's a combination of, I think somebody told me once that...
but jazz actually bridged the race divide.
Yeah, to some ways bridged the race divide, I think, in Washington. And also somebody told me once that the jazz scene in D.C. was organic. And I think they meant that as an insult, that it wasn't very academic. Yeah, but I take it as a compliment.
That's a compliment.
Exactly.
It is a compliment, yeah.
I think for a long time, there's a sort of a native jazz audience in D.C., an appreciation of the music. And you also have, Howard University and other institutions producing musicians. Mm-hmm. But more than that, what I love about the DC jazz scene, and Aaron's background as an example of that, is so many of the jazz players I know there are really comfortable in lots of different types of music. I mean, what's go-go? Go-go is a mix of, funk and Latin music and jazz and 5 other different styles.
Good loving can't pay my bills. I need money.
Yeah. And I think it's that ease by which musicians cross over from genre to genre and really sort of influences the jazz scene and makes it that much more rich and vibrant in D.C.
Yeah, man. So, next Thursday,
March 12th, it's a ticketed event, so you can get your tickets at CMCArts.org on our events page. Mm-hmm. There's a few other events to enjoy throughout March as well. But next Thursday, 6 to 9, you got to come out and join us. I'm really excited, Aaron, to hear your voice and meet you, and we're really looking forward to it. And thanks to Oren for putting this all together. 6 to 9 next Thursday.
Well, congratulations again, CMCArts.
Thank you.
What you provide and bring to the Virgin Islands is incomparable.
Thank you very much, Neville. I appreciate that.
And thank you very much, Oren. Levine.
All right, yeah. Thanks again for the opportunity, Neville.
For joining us, and it was nice talking to you, Mr. Myers, and looking forward to getting you here in the territory so you can appreciate paradise. It's heaven on earth.
I'm looking forward to paradise. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Be good, be safe. Talk to you tomorrow. We got the Power Hour to start the show tomorrow with Kyle Fleming. And then we also have a teen entrepreneur, Lisa Margolis, calling in from UPICL. Talk to you then. Be good, be safe.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.